Okay, the first thing that I noticed musically was that and this is very understandable because you woke up at 4:30 this morning and then had to sit there while you warmed up and then you stopped playing and then we were playing and you were sitting there. All of us right now, with the exception of me talking, are using very little air. Okay, we get nowhere near full, we get nowhere near empty. We're just kind of hanging out right in the middle. And at the beginning, there was not a lot of air moving in the group, especially compared to how it was towards the end. Were any of you nervous? Yeah, I'm getting most are yeses. All right, well that is completely normal. The only way to get over nerves is experience, which is a really annoying answer from teachers because it's like, well, thanks. How do I get that? It comes over time. The only way to do it is just to do it over and over and over and over and over again. However, in the meantime, the biggest enemy to breathing is tension. Okay, and tension can come from a whole lot of places. Okay. Tension can come from the fact that you're suddenly on stage at 8:10 in the morning playing on a live internet feed. Tension can come because you have a huge test that you didn't study for. You could be having a fight with your girlfriend. You could not have a girlfriend. There's a lot of different places that tension can come from, and it's important to get our air moving. One plug that I want to make is for a book and a DVD which is called The Breathing Gym, like gymnasium. That is by Sam Playfien and Pat Sheridan, and they are two tuba players. Sam Playfien was the founding tuba player in the Empire Brass Quintet. In my opinion, he's the greatest tuba player to ever play in a quintet. Amazing, his versatility. And just as an artist, he's unparalleled. Artist and tuba don't usually go hand in hand, but this guy is, I'll put him up with anybody. And Pat Sheridan is a world-renowned tuba soloist. Well, they put out this book called The Breathing Gym. And these guys have this concert at 10, so we're not having them play as much so that they can kick butt at 10 o'clock, which is why I'm talking a lot, not having them play. But the Breathing Gym is a fantastic resource because a lot of people most students will know when they are not breathing well, and they will say, okay, my air is not doing what it needs to do right now, and you kind of take a couple of deep breaths, but you don't really know how to attack it, right? Well, the Breathing Gym has something around 20 different breathing exercises, and there's variations of each of those breathing exercises, but the most valuable thing in the book to me is that at the back there is there's a chart, and along one axis is each of the exercises, which are numbered. Along the other axis is specific performance problems that you are having. So you can look and see something for a better breath in between phrases, and you'll look, and then there's dots next to exercises 4, 8, 12, 17, and 18. So it's not just this nebulous concept of I have to move my air more. It's almost like you're having a breathing lesson, okay? Can we try this from the very top? I want you to blow through your horns and with the valves and with the slide, but I want us to just do a wind pattern, okay? So it's going to be just... And you're going to have to breathe more frequently than you would normally, okay? But I want you to be thinking about wind. These are wind instruments. The definition of wind is air that is in motion, okay? And a lot of you at the beginning, because you were nervous, were blowing your air about this far. What I want you to think about is blowing your air all the way to the back of the hall. Can we go ahead and try that once?
So we're not buzzing our lips then?
You're not buzzing your lips, no. And you're going to need to breathe more frequently than you need to, okay? Just a nice relaxed airstream. Okay, good. All right, are any of you dizzy at all? A little bit, okay. There's good news and bad news if you're dizzy. It means you're doing one thing really well and one thing not so well. The thing you're doing well means that you're having a really great inhale. What getting dizzy means that the blood level in your oxygen, let me try that again, it's 8 in the morning. The oxygen level in your blood just keeps on getting higher and higher because you're not having as good of an exhale as you are an inhale, okay? So make sure that you're exhaling just as well as you're inhaling. I didn't have to ask you guys, did I mention a diaphragm or shoulders or anything, a tongue or some of that? There is a place for that, of course. However, every single one of you is just moving more air than when you were playing. Okay? And part of it is the nerves thing. I mean, it's not like that was the only reason. Can we do just the very first 4 measures of wind pattern one more time, and then I want you to play it. Exact same thing you just did. Actually, keep going. We're going to do 8 measures. Okay, good. Now from the very top, go ahead and play. We just did one tiny little exercise. There's not a single one of you that weren't playing with some form of a better sound than you were playing with before, okay? It's very, very important to be moving a lot of air. The very last thing, and then I'm going to let somebody else up here, is that you can take the sound that a perfect breath makes. This is something from the breathing gym, which again, I could not recommend any more highly for players or for teachers, and I swear I do not get a cut of any of it. So it is that sound a perfect breath makes is basically silence, okay? If you take 3 fingers, put them right underneath your nose, you get this kind of an unpleasant sound, but there's an aural feedback to how much air you're moving in. Now the goal is to make that sound as loud, as long, and as deep as possible. If you go, then that means that you don't have a good oral shape. The only way to possibly make that sound is if your air, or if your mouth is closed a lot. Again, can we all try that really quickly, all 6 of us together? Try this. Man, I just got a couple looks like, this dude is making me put my hand in front of my face on the internet and making that noise. All right, you can take it out on me later. Okay, if you can find me. Okay, so these 3 fingers right under here, and then everybody together. One more time. Again. Last one. All right, if you noticed, they were all just taking very deep breaths. They were breathing to expand. They weren't expanding to breathe. You just did a whole lot of things right, and all that we did were just listening to the sound that we were making. You do that individually. You do that when you're practicing. You cannot make that sound without moving a large amount of air. So that's a great way to tell how much air you're moving. So thank you very much, guys. You sound fantastic.
Thank you.
Well, I want to get into the title of the class. Usually when we do this class, the 5 of us talk about the 5 advantages to playing chamber music and 5 strategies for trying to integrate more chamber music into your programs. But while we have guinea pigs here, we should avail ourselves of their use, especially on the benefits of playing chamber music. So I'm going to ask these guys a series of questions. We've never met, right? This has been in a hermetically sealed jar underneath the, no, okay. So one of the first things that I wanted to, I'll just tell you what the 5 reasons are, and then we'll explore them a little bit with the group. These are the things that we have, for Boston Brass, these are the real standout things. Chamber music requires musical independence. Chamber music allows for composition and improvisation of opportunities. Encourages collaboration and problem solving. And it challenges students who might otherwise get bored, and encourages the social aspect of music making. So let's take those apart. What is the main difference between playing in band and playing in the quintet?
Balance.
Balance. Okay. What about from a more basic standpoint? Who makes the decisions in the quintet? Let's back up. When the group rehearses, does someone rehearse the group, or do the 5 of you figure it out? I know that you're pinch hitting, but does somebody typically tell you how to play, or do you figure it out?
We usually figure it out.
You usually figure it out. And how often do you get together and play?
Like once a week.
Once a week. And how many tunes are in your repertoire?
This one.
1. Great. That's fine. No, it's October. I mean, you've only been in school for a couple of months. So and how long do you get together each week?
Like a half an hour.
Half an hour. Great. That's fantastic. Is it fun? Why is it fun?
To play music.
You get to play music. Who decides what you're going to play?
I often do.
You kind of pinch hit, and
We've gone over a lot of time week by week because they keep wanting to sight read other pieces.
Why do you want to sight read other pieces?
More of a challenge.
More of a challenge. Do you like this piece?
Yeah, but it's repetitive.
It's, okay, so you're also part of the want to sight read has to do with maybe we can find something that we like better, okay? So when you have to make a musical decision, let's say what piece it is, how do you make that decision? Let's assume that your band director or your student teacher is not nudging you in a specific direction. How do you make the decision? It's easy with 5.
Free for all.
Free for all. Knock down, drag out, last man standing.
I can't.
Yep. Is it a female that plays the horn?
Yeah.
Okay, always do what she says. That's a life lesson. Just do that from now on, and you'll be okay. No, there's 5 of you. There's a very simple way, right? Vote, sure. And that goes with what piece you're going to play, how loud you're going to play it, how fast you're going to play it. There's another, so we've already covered the fact that this is fun for you, right? The social aspect of it is a good time. Do you get along okay, the 5 of you? Yep. Enough that you're getting together on your own? Do you set up the rehearsal time, or is that a scheduled thing, or did you set that up? Who took the initiative on that?
It's kind of scheduled, but occasionally it changes depending on our schedules and stuff.
But you've made it a priority. You've decided that playing the quintet is a priority for the 5 of us. And we're going to set aside a half an hour each week to do that. Does everybody show up prepared?
Usually.
Usually. And what happens if they don't?
Smackdown.
Smackdown.
I'm going to get a teaching license someday.
This is just like Boston brass rehearsal. That's good. But generally, my prediction is that that probably doesn't happen, or it might have happened early in. But I'm guessing now that if the 5 of you have decided that this is important enough for you to set aside time each week, that the 5 of you are taking it upon yourselves to look at your parts outside of rehearsal, so that when you show up, it's about music making, right? So how do you decide this? It's all going to be basically the same answers. But let's say he wants it to go fast and you want it to go slower. How do you? I want to share a strategy with you. But what strategy do you use now? I think it should go this fast. Well, I think it should go that fast. How would you solve that problem?
What do they think?
Oh, just ask for feedback from the other folks. That's a good way. And then I'm going to cut to the chase on what we do, which is we try it both ways. Before anybody expresses an opinion about, I think your way stinks on ice, I think your way stinks on ice, we try it both ways. And then everybody's able to hear it. Because you say, I think it should go faster, and you have an image in your head, and it might or might not be faster than you were just going, but you have an image in your head of it. And you have an image in your head that's slightly different than his. But it may not be as different as you think. And when you try them both, you might find, oh, you know what, I think he might be right. Or you might find, no, I'm sure that this is the way I want it to go. And then you have to talk. You have to figure out, it's not personal. I don't dislike you, but I think that it should go at this speed. And so then you're able to deal with problem solving at a different level. This is not, the band director's in front of you and you're in the big ensemble thing and he goes, that needs to be softer. Guess what? That needs to be softer. Because he's got a big picture, in your instance he has a big picture in mind of what the overall product is. And he's uniquely positioned in space to be able to tell whether that is true or not. With the 5 of you, that decision-making process from without the group is gone. So now it has to happen from within. So it sounds like you're getting along well, which is great news. So now you have to develop some strategies for problem solving. And this stuff will carry across the board. Let's say you're going to work on a science project together. It's the same thing. I think it should be this, I think it should be that. Well, let's explore both and see if we can find a way to meet in the middle, or find that we've figured out a way, no, this is really the right way to go, I think. So you understand what I mean? All right, so, and if you don't trust one another and you don't like one another, you're going to bring baggage to all of it. Ask any professional musician about playing in chamber music, and the hardest part is always, 100 times out of 100, getting along with one another. There are other challenges, and for us, this is our primary basic. For some of us, it's our sole source of income, and so we have to figure out a way to make that work. And the stakes aren't that high for all of you, but if it's not fun, why would you do it? You know what I mean?